How are you guys doing today? My name is Apple Crider, and I make daily personal finance, entrepreneurship, and credit card related videos here on YouTube. And today, what we're going to be doing is we're coming back with another episode of What's in My Wallet. So I did one of these a couple months ago back in April, and it did pretty well. And I thought it was really good at showing you guys sort of where I was at with credit cards. So we're bringing it back, and I'm going to show you guys what's in my wallet this month of July. Technically it's June, it's like the last day of June right now, but we're doing it for July because I'm probably not going to get any new cards in the next month, so that's how we're doing it. So alright guys, so I'll show you guys basically what we're doing. I'll give you an overview if you didn't see the first episode. Is we're just going to go through my wallet. I'm going to show you guys what we have in here, what we're looking at as far as cards go, because I've got a lot of new cards this month. I've got at least 3 new ones, probably at least 4 since the last episode of What's in My Wallet back in April. So that is why I want to share this with you guys, and that's what we're doing in this Friday live stream. But first, if you guys haven't checked out my video from yesterday, actually it was a really cool collaboration I did with like 4 other financial YouTubers. It was really cool. We all gave our #1 piece of financial advice that we would give to 18-year-olds, and I think it was really good. I really enjoyed editing it. Like months and weeks of work went into that, so be sure to check that out. But without further ado, let's get into my wallet. We're going to take it apart. We're going to see what is in here. So we'll start out, we got my ID here, my state-issued driver's license. That's not very exciting, so we can just move beyond that. This card, actually, yeah, we'll start with this one. Why not? We're going to start with the debit cards because I guess that's what we're going to do. That's what's first in here. So first we got our debit card. So this card I actually just got. It is the Cash Card from Square. And if you're not familiar, I'm going to make a whole video about the Cash Card from Square, but I haven't used it yet, but I really just have it at this point for the little customization down there, which is really cool. I drew it myself, so if you like my drawing of an apple, let me know in the comments below. I think it's pretty crude, but you know, we're doing our best. But yeah, so I like this card because you can customize it. It looks cool. It's like a black card, which is kind of fun. And it changes things up in the wallet. I enjoy it. And the benefits to this card really are you can apply things to the Cash Card called boosts. And what essentially a boost is it's a discount that you can get at a bunch of different places. So from places like Chipotle, you can get 15% off anything you buy at Chipotle. You can get $1 off any coffee shop you go to. You can get, I think, 10% off at Panera. There's just a lot of discounts you can get with this card that are quite nice. Right now, though, since I'm actually hitting some minimum spends on other credit cards, it doesn't make sense for me to use this card at the moment. But once I'm not hitting minimum spends, that 15% off at Chipotle will definitely come in handy. And the $1 off at coffee shops could be really cool as well, especially if I'm just going in to get like $1.50, like a small coffee. Get $1 off that, get it for like 50 cents. That sounds pretty good to me. Let me know what you guys think of the Cash Card as well, if you guys have it. I know a couple people were actually commenting on my videos and telling me that I should get the Cash Card, so I actually went out and did it. Just because it is so easy to get. If you guys have the Cash app on your phone from Square, you can just tell them that you want one of these cards. They'll let you draw a little picture to put on it, and they'll send it to you in the mail within like 3 to 5 days. I'll make a whole video about this card actually. I've got that in the works, so if you guys are interested in more details on the Cash Card, we're going to do a whole video on that. But yeah, it's a pretty cool card. I enjoy it. It's got some good discounts at places that college students eat at, so I like it. So I'd say good stuff on the Cash Card. Next card is my normal debit card. So I've had this card for a long time. It's just my standard US Bank debit card. I like it because it's tie-dye. You know, I like my colors, obviously judging by my hair and my bandana. But yeah, I like this card a lot. It's just a standard debit card. I really only use it to get money out of the ATM if I need to do that. But since I work as a server now, I really don't need to get cash that much since I get plenty of tips and I never really pay in cash unless there's a place that I go to where I can't use a card. So this guy is just really in there so I can go to ATMs. Nothing too big with this guy. But it's a classic one. It's my tie-dye card. Anytime I see somebody else with a tie-dye card, I'm like, got that same debit card, US Bank, all the way. Okay, so that was the debit cards. That's pretty standard. Now let's get into the fun stuff. Now let's get into the credit card portion of the wallet. All right, so that's this back part right here. Looks like we got 4 cards in here at the moment. We're going to downgrade to 3 actually. After this video, I'm dropping one of these guys out of here. I'm not going to cancel the card because I made a whole video on why that's a bad idea, but we're going to remove one of them from the wallet because it no longer makes sense to use really ever, and we'll get to that. Okay, so first one we got in here, we're going to go through, actually we'll go through the older ones first, so we'll go through the cards that we started off with. So last time, as you'll remember, we had our US Bank Visa Signature Card, our Cash Plus card. Guys, just so you know, I'm doing this live, so Hopefully none of my credit card information slips. If it does, that would be unfortunate because I can't really redo this. So bear with me here. Okay, so this is the Cash Plus card. Try to be careful and don't show you guys my credit card numbers. But this is Cash Plus card, and essentially what this card is you get to choose your category. So it's like a 5% rotating category card like the Discover It or the Chase Freedom, except with this one you get to choose your categories, which is kind of nice. The categories aren't as nice as the ones from the Discover It or the Chase Freedom, obviously, but as you can see, I wrote on here what my 5% categories are. So I've got fast food and clothing. I wrote it on here on a piece of tape just so I wouldn't forget it, because I don't know. It just seems like a better way to remember than trying to like go onto the app and figure it out. So I just write it on here to remember. So pro tip, if you ever have a card that you want to remember what the categories are, just get a piece of tape, write it on the tape, put it on the card, you're good to go. So this card I get 5% back on fast food and groceries. Hey Money Mom, thanks for tuning in. How are you doing today? I'm just going through my wallet, showing you guys what we're looking at here in the month of June, soon to be July. But thank you for stopping by, I appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, fast food and clothing is what this card will get me 5% back on. Obviously, I don't spend that much money, so I don't use this card very much. I haven't used it in a couple months actually, just because I am hitting some sign-up bonuses on some other cards in here, so it doesn't really make sense for me to use this Cash Plus card right now. So that's really all I have to say about this card. Let me know if you guys have any experience with US bank cards like the Cash Plus. They don't really have a huge selection, so let me know if you guys have any experience with US bank cards. Alright, so next we are going to move on to the card that we're actually ditching from the wallet after this month, which is the Fidelity Visa Signature Card. Now, I made a whole video on this card, and that video did pretty well. I got a lot of good engagement on that. Money Mom uses her Discover card. Is it a Discover It card? Discover Miles card? What kind of Discover card you got, Money Mom? So we got this Fidelity card, and this is a flat 2% cash back on everything, but it's not actually cash back. It's credits that you can put into a Fidelity account. So I have a Roth IRA with Fidelity, so I just use my my credits that I get from this, my 2% cash back on everything, to go right into my Roth IRA, which is quite nice, so I can save for retirement at the same time as I am getting rewarded for the money that I already spend. But because of one of these new cards that I just got, this card actually doesn't make sense for me to use anymore. So I actually just cashed out all of my points from this card into my account, and I'm going to be putting this card probably just in like a sock drawer or just like out of commission, taking it out of the wallet at least, just because it's not worth it to carry in there, because I'm not going to use it for anything because I've redeemed all my points. So I'm not going to use it anymore. I might use it like once every 6 months just for like a pack of gum or something just to keep it active, but no more significant purchases on this card. And I mean that's pretty good, I think, because this card actually has my highest credit limit of all of them. I didn't actually mention that. On my US Bank Cash Plus, I've got about, I think it's about a $2,000, it's either $2,000 or $2,500 limit. But with my Fidelity card, I've actually got a $4,100 limit. So having this limit just sitting around is going to be good because it's lowering my overall utilization ratio. So that's pretty nice to have this card with the high limit as well. It's my highest limit of all of these cards, as we will see in a little bit. Alright, so moving on to the two new cards. Money Mom has a cashback Discover card. Alright, cool. I don't have any Discover cards yet. We're going to talk about what cards that I'm going to be looking at getting in the near future, and Discover is definitely on the list. I've heard a lot of good things about Discover, so I definitely do want to get some Discover cards, but I have some other priorities that I'm definitely going to get to before I get some Discover cards, just for some reasons that we'll get to in a little bit. Money Mom's asking what my major is in college. I am a personal finance major, pretty fitting based on the YouTube channel. But yeah, if you guys are wondering, I am a personal finance major. Alright, so this card is the Chase Freedom Unlimited card, and this is the reason that I'm no longer using my Fidelity Visa Signature card, because this card makes more sense for me to use. Now, why is that? This card makes more sense to use because with this card you get 1.5% ultimate reward points on everything you spend, and to me ultimate reward points are worth probably about 1.5 cents per point, because what I plan on doing is getting either the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Chase Sapphire Reserve in probably, I'd say, the next year, and then I'll be able to transfer my points from this card to that card. If you guys are familiar with Chase's system at all, I made a whole video on the Chase trifecta, so that's sort of what this is all about. But if you guys are interested in that, be sure to check out that video. I don't really want to get all into that right here, right now, just because it's a little bit complicated, but this card makes more sense for me to use than this card, because with this card I get more value on everything that I spend than this card. That's the basics of it, essentially. So, and with this card right now, I'm actually working on hitting a sign-up bonus. So with the Chase Freedom Unlimited, if you spend $500 in the first 90 days, you actually get $150 worth of statement credit, or 15,000 ultimate reward points, which I value probably somewhere around like $225, I would say. So this sign-up bonus makes a lot of sense to hit, because you're getting, what, like, I can't do math right now, but like 30% return on spend about, so it's quite nice. Let's see, Money Mom is opening an account with Discover, nice, and she also has a Chase card with Amazon points. Is that the Amazon Prime Visa Signature Card, Money Mom? If so, I applied for that card and got rejected, but that was a long time ago, before I understood what I was doing, so. Okay, so yeah, so that's this card. This card has about a $2,500 limit, and I'd say I'm about halfway to hitting that sign-up bonus. I've only had the card for a couple weeks now, so I'm definitely going to hit the bonus and get those points, because that's like, you got to make sure you hit the bonuses. You got to make sure your normal spending can get you to hit the bonuses, just because that's where a lot of the value comes in with these cards, is being able to hit those sign-up bonuses and getting a lot of value for that spend. So that's my Chase Freedom Unlimited, and coming in last, the last card in the wallet, is my Chase Freedom card. So the Chase Freedom card is sort of similar to the Cash Plus card that we looked at earlier from US Bank, in that it's a 5% card. But with the Chase Freedom, it's a 5% rotating category card. So what that means is every quarter, so every quarter of the year, you discover, or Chase rather, selects a category. So right now the category is grocery stores, Chase Pay, and PayPal, I believe. So anytime you spend stuff in those categories, you get 5% cash back. And additionally, this card also collects ultimate reward points, just like the Chase Freedom Unlimited over here. So with this card, the points are actually worth a little bit more than just 1 cent per point, to me at least. So yeah, again, this is part of the Chase trifecta. If you guys aren't familiar with that, check that out. But yeah, so this is Chase Freedom, and 5% rotating category. Again, same sign-up bonus, same spend $500 in the first 90 days, get a $150 worth of ultimate reward points. So it makes a lot of sense for me to use this card right now instead of like the US Bank Cash Plus or any of my other cards, just because, again, I want to hit those sign-up bonuses. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, Money Mom's got the Amazon Visa. Exactly, yeah, that's the card that I applied for and got rejected for, but I made a video about it, and that's like the most popular video on my channel, to be honest. So I think it was a good experience. I definitely learned a lot. I definitely know a lot more about credit cards now, so if I was in that same spot, I wouldn't have done that. But we'll get to some of the things that I would have done differently with regard to credit in a little bit. So those are the cards that are in my wallet right now. But now I want to talk about some of the mistakes that I've made with credit and what I'm thinking about with credit going forward. So I made a couple mistakes with credit at this point in my life, even though I'm only 19 years old, and even though I've only been building credit for under 2 years, probably just a little over 1 year actually. So some of the mistakes that I've made with credit. Actually, first off, I just want to show you guys something. My credit score has actually had quite a shift lately. I'll pull this up in the side. Yeah, so my credit score has actually fallen a bunch lately, and that is due to the fact that, again, I opened both of these two new cards. Now, you might be, and I was definitely expecting this. I mean, when you open 2 new cards in the same day especially, your credit score is definitely going to be affected by that. All right, I'm just pulling up on my phone here my credit score so I can show you guys how it has dropped. Now, I know Credit Karma, not the most reliable source, so before you guys smash that dislike button and unsubscribe and all that good stuff, I know Credit Karma is not the most reliable source, but it gives you a good estimate at least. So I like to use it because it gives you a good estimate, and so I'm just want to show you guys what we are at right now. So before applying for these cards on Credit Karma, I was sitting at about a 726, I believe, as far as credit score goes, but now our credit score is actually a lot lower. So if we take a look at both our TransUnion and our Equifax estimates, because these are estimates, we're going to see that it's actually sitting at about, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but we're sitting at about 680 and a 676. So it has definitely fallen quite dramatically since we got these cards. And I'm gonna make a whole video on why that happened, but it was definitely expected, and I definitely realized that was gonna happen when I got these cards. It's definitely it's a long game. Like, building credit is a long game, so you don't have to worry about the short stuff. But basically, the reason why my credit score fell so much, and I don't consider this a mistake at all, the reason my credit score fell so much is because I did two things. First thing I did is I raised the number of total inquiries on my credit report. So if you're not familiar, every time you apply for a new line of credit, the credit bureau, or the credit card company that you apply with, is going to check your credit using a credit inquiry. Now, because I applied for 2 Chase cards in the same day, both online, my credit score was actually only pulled once, so I only had 1 additional inquiry. So that didn't affect my credit score too much. But the thing that affected my credit score the most, in the negative direction at least, was the fact that my average age of accounts dropped very significantly. So before this, my average age of accounts, I think, was around nearly a year, not quite a year, I'd say maybe 10 months. But since getting both of these cards, my average age of accounts has actually dropped to, let's see if I can find it really quick. I don't know if I can find it really quick. I'll see if I can find it really quick. But it has actually dropped to, I think, around, I'd say like 4 months, actually, maybe 5 months. But yeah, since both of these cards are very new, they just opened, it dropped my average age of accounts a ton. So that is why my credit score dropped like 60 points because getting both these new cards it really shocked my average age of accounts in the negative direction. But in the positive direction, my credit utilization went down because I now have a higher overall limit, and my total number of accounts went up because I now have a higher number of accounts, and that's a positive factor. And my payment history will be pretty much unaffected, maybe a little bit in the positive direction, but I paid all my stuff on time. Money Mom's credit score fluctuates between 832 and 845. Congratulations, Money Mom. That is a solid credit score right there. Like, that is something to be proud of. That's what I aspire to get someday. But I think I'll be satisfied really with anything over a 750. I think once I get there, then I'll be fine to just churn credit cards. Thanks, Money Mom. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you staying true. You're always giving me so much support, and you gave me a shout out at first. That got my channel so much more exposure. So I really do appreciate you and all the things you do for my channel. It's really it means a lot to me. So thank you very much for all of that. So yeah, that's my credit score dropping lately. Just want to share that with you guys as well. But the mistakes that I've made with credit up until this point, there've been a couple. Now, the first one that I can think of is probably my first credit card. So my first credit card that I got with US Bank was actually a US Bank Visa Signature Card that I upgraded to this card. Now, I upgraded that to the Cash Plus card just because the Visa Signature Card, the normal one, it doesn't really do anything for you. It's just a basic like credit building card. And with the Cash Plus, I can actually get some cash back. But if I was starting over, I would not have gone for the US Bank card. I would have gone, actually, I think I would have gone for a Discover student card. Now, I would have gone with the Discover student card, one, because it would have been helping me build a relationship with Discover, which I want to do. I opened a savings account with them to build that relationship, but I also think I would have wanted to start with a card from them because I don't really see myself going any further with like US Bank credit cards at this point just because I don't really have any ones that interest me. So I think if I would have been building that relationship with Discover from the get-go, that would have been beneficial. So if you haven't started building credit yet and you think you might want a relationship with Discover, I would say go for their cards first. Just because they're good at approving students, especially if they have that student card. So I would say Discover is a good option for your first card. So that's the first mistake that I think I made. I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but it's something that I would do differently going forward if I was to start over. Additionally, applying for the Amazon Visa Signature Card that I made a whole video about and how I got rejected, I wouldn't do that. I would not apply for that card because it was way too high of a reach for me because I only had one credit card at the time. My average history was like, I don't know, maybe like 4 months at most, probably like closer to 3. But I hadn't been building credit for that long. I was sort of just getting ahead of myself, and I was getting really into all these credit card YouTubers like the Credit Shifu and Ask Sebi. And I was just like, oh man, I'm hyped, I want to build credit, I want to go for it. But I didn't really realize that it was a long game. And then I sort of had to pace myself and wait a little bit. I just really got ahead of myself and applied for that. So that was just an unnecessary credit inquiry on my report, which will It's probably gone by now. The effects have probably faded most of the way by now, just because that was, I'd say like 6 months ago probably, maybe a little bit longer. But yeah, so that was a mistake. Another mistake I made was seeing if I could get pre-qualified for a mortgage. So I actually, I'm trying to get invested in some rental property pretty soon, this year ideally. But I actually went to US Bank's website and just on my phone, I was bored, so I tried to get pre-qualified for a mortgage from US Bank just to see how that would go for me. No shocker that I got rejected for that, and it resulted in a hard pull on my credit. So that was another unnecessary credit inquiry. But so I've had two unnecessary credit inquiries. Other than that, I haven't had any big like mistakes, any like missed payments or anything like late or anything. So nothing significant, but just a couple inquiries that I could have avoided and a different path that I would have started on. Additionally, I wouldn't have gotten this card. I wouldn't have gotten the Visa Signature Card from Fidelity had I really known everything that I know now, just because the card doesn't really provide any value for me anymore, and I could have waited a little bit longer and just gone right in for the two Chase cards, and then because of the 524 rule, I would have been in better standing with Chase. Because now I'm at 424, I could be at 324, but yeah. So those are the only things that I would probably change. Other than that, I think I've been on the path that I'm pretty good with. I'm pretty good with where I'm at. Don't really have any huge regrets. Like, oh my gosh, I really should have done that differently. For the most part, I think I'm on track for where I want to be as far as building credit goes. Now going forward, what cards do I want to get going forward? Well, there's a couple that come to mind right away. Now, first thing I want to do is I want to maximize my 524 cards. So if you're not familiar with 524 cards, again, I made a whole video on it. I keep saying that, but I've got a lot of videos. But I made a whole video on Chase's 524 rule, and basically it states that if you've gotten 5 new credit cards in the last 24 months, then you can't get a whole slew of Chase cards. So I want to maximize those because right now I've only gotten 4 new cards in the last 24 months, and those are right here, these 4 cards. I've gotten all of these in the last 24 months. The US Bank one will be falling off, I'd say, in like 6 to 8 months. So after that, I'll be able to get another Chase card. So in the next 6 to 8 months, I can get 2 new Chase 524 cards. So I plan to get both of those. The first one I think I'll get is probably the United Explorer card. I'm leaning towards that one right now. The sign-up bonus is kind of high to hit for me as a college student, so I'm gonna have to time that out with like some travel or a big purchase or something, or find a way to funnel some extra spending through there. Maybe I'll buy a bunch of gift cards. I don't know, probably not, but we'll see. But I want to get that card just because there's a lot of United flights nearby to me in Minneapolis. So that would be good to have all those points. You get 40,000 points for that sign-up bonus, which is pretty nice. Can give me a couple flights, which would be pretty cool to get some free flights out of that. But then the second Chase 524 card that I want to get is going to be the Chase Sapphire Preferred. Now, I'm leaning towards the Preferred instead of the Reserve, just because right now, as a college student, I obviously don't travel that much. I don't have that much money. So the basically a step up from the Preferred to the Reserve wouldn't really be worth it for me, I don't think. Just because, I mean, you get the lounge access. I probably wouldn't take advantage of that since I don't travel that much. And you get to redeem your Ultimate Reward points for a little bit more, but I don't think I'd be getting enough Ultimate Reward points to make that worth it for me, just because, again, I'm not spending that much money. I also might look at some Chase Business credit cards, just because I have started my own thing, and some of those cards are pretty nice. And they are 524 cards. There's a little bit of nuance here, so I might make a video on this as well. But there's a little bit of nuance here because some of those cards will count. They are 524 cards, so you can't get them if you've gotten 5 or more credit cards in the last 24 months. But the catch is because they're business cards, they don't appear on your personal credit report, so they don't add to your 524. So, for example, say I was at 424 like I am right now, and I got one of these Chase Business cards. I could get this card because I'm 424, and it wouldn't put me up to 524. I would still be at 424, and I could get as many of these Chase Business cards as I wanted, and they wouldn't add to my 524 standing, basically. That's basically how that works. So I might go for some of those just to maintain my under 524 standing, or maybe some other business cards from other from other credit card providers. But we'll see, because those typically also have higher sign-up bonuses, minimum spend requirements. So again, since I'm a poor college student, I don't spend that much money. We'll see, because I really do want to try to plan out. All right, Money Mom, I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, so I really do have to plan out my spending as a college student, and I really do usually go for cards that have lower sign-up bonus requirements, like the Chase Freedom and the Chase Freedom Unlimited, which only have $500 minimum spend requirements, which I can hit as a college student easily with my normal spending. But some of these cards that have $3,000 or $4,000 minimum spends, I'm like, I don't know if I can hit that. That's a little bit steep for me. So that's my 2 cents on why I'm kind of hesitant to get some of these other Chase cards. But again, I'm kind of torn because I want to get them before I go over 524. I don't know. I just gotta wait it out, really. Wait for my credit score to bounce back up after I've had these cards for a little bit and they add to my average age of accounts. So that's basically my 2 cents. But yeah, going forward, looking at maximizing my 524 cards, definitely getting either the Chase Sapphire, probably the Chase Sapphire preferred, rather than the Reserve, to be honest. But then after I maximize my Chase 524 cards, then that's where it gets a bit interesting. So that's where I'm not totally sure where I plan to go yet. I've got a couple routes in mind. One card that I'm really looking at is the Uber card, just because you can get 4% back on, I believe it's dining. Yeah, 4% back on dining, which is quite nice, for no annual fee, I should mention. So yeah, I'm looking at the Uber card. I'm looking at a couple Discover cards. The Discover It card, which is a 5% rotating category card similar to the Chase Freedom, and the Discover Miles card, which is a 1.5 miles back on all your purchases, similar to the Chase Freedom card. But in the first year, they do that mile match, so it's actually 3 miles back on everything. So that could be pretty nice if I am looking to do some serious travel. So I'm looking at both of those cards. I'm looking at the the Capital One card that just came out. I just made a video on the new Capital One card that's coming out, which I can't even remember the name of right now. But that card looked pretty nice. It's basically the discount version of the Chase Sapphire Reserve, because it's no annual fee, but it is 3% back on travel, 3% back on dining, and 3% back on streaming services. So it's streaming services like Spotify, Hulu, Netflix, Apple Music. All of these guys you also get 3% back on. So it's a pretty nice card for a no annual fee card, I would say. Sign-up bonus is decent as well. So yeah, that's essentially what's in my wallet this month of July. If you guys did enjoy this video, be sure to let me know in the comments below if you guys like videos where I go through what's in my wallet, what my credit card plans are going forward. Be sure to let me know. And if you guys made it all the way to the end and you still haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing? Please smash that subscribe button and leave a like on this video as well. It really does mean a ton to me. It really does boost my self-esteem when I see people leaving likes on the videos. But guys, thank you very much for sticking around. I really do appreciate it. And be sure to check out yesterday's video as well on the #1 piece of financial wisdom that myself, Nate O'Brien, Brandon Beavis Investing, Baby Investing, and Cooper Academy have for you. It's a huge collaboration. It took me weeks to put together, but it was a blast to do, and I really enjoyed working with those guys. So be sure to check that out as well. It would mean a ton to me, and leave a comment over there with your feedback as well. Anyways, guys, my name has been Apple Crider. Thank you very much for sticking around. If you guys are live, thank you very much for sticking around as well. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you guys commenting and interacting with me live as well. I love responding to you guys' questions. It is just great. But anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one.